Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is defending her move to share photos from a closed-door deposition on the Epstein files. Some question whether she crossed the line.
Also coming up this hour, a well-known school for gifted children closing its doors. Parents are speaking out about the long-term impact this will have on local kids.
Well, taking a live look over downtown Denver. Looks peaceful and quiet. It is early. It looks dark out there, but expect another very windy and warm day. We could be seeing these temps heading into the weekend. Good morning. I'm Sam Shocker in for Corey Rose.
And I'm Drew Carney. There's another headline we should mention right off the top here. It's probably my favorite of the day.
Friday.
It is Friday. Yay. Katie LaSalle, weather gal, Katie LaSalle, can we get a Friday forecast, please?
Yes, happy Friday, you guys. We are happy, and we are also being watching very closely the winds for today once again. Temperature-wise, it's a mild start to the morning, relatively calm currently here in Denver. We have seen some gustier conditions up over higher terrain to the west, but the winds will really start to pick up steam as we get into the afternoon. Right now, getting out the door at 5:01, it is 49 degrees in our backyard in downtown Denver. Upper 30s out of the airport. Definitely still warrants having a light jacket, a sweatshirt on early, but upper 60s near 70 and sunshine ahead. Now for today, not in effect just yet, but the National Weather Service issuing another red flag warning. We've seen this week more mountain snow that's tapered off, but the fire danger once again elevated across a big portion of the urban corridor, the Front Range and northeastern plains. Upper 60s for highs. 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. We're already sitting at our average high for late February, and taking us through our wind gust forecast. It's relatively calm this morning. In the mountains and really the foothills is where we'll see the strongest winds for this afternoon. It's not going to be high wind warnings in place, but through this evening, just breezy at times. Please be careful. Skies will stay clear. Any dinner plans you have for this evening will be under a mostly clear sky, and warm temperatures remain for the weekend. So Brianna, yesterday we were talking mountain snow. At this time, it looks like a lot of it's tapered off. How are the roads looking on this Friday?
Very, very dry, especially here in the Denver metro area. Katie, thank you so much. Happy Friday, everyone. 5:02 is your time. Taking a live look of 225 right near Colfax. If you're heading northbound to I-70, no issues to report there. And then same story for those taking southbound 225 heading into I-25. I want to get to your drive times and really show you the overall picture that we're seeing here in the Denver metro area. Up and down I-25, still have the green light there. Same for 6th Avenue for anyone taking 6th Avenue right now. So leaving Lakewood heading into I-25, you're looking at a 7-minute drive. Same story if you're heading westbound to I-70, taking 6th Avenue. And then 225, where I just showed you that CDOT camera closer to Colfax, you can see the green light there still in pretty good shape. So an easy breezy drive heading southbound 225, a 9-minute drive.
Well, strong winds and dry conditions will be fueling fire danger once again today across Colorado.
Meanwhile, we're also getting a closer look this morning at the damage caused by the grass fire that sparked earlier this week in Thornton. That's where 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us this morning. So Courtney, firefighters we know continuing to tell people they need to be fire aware.
Yes, that's right, Drew and Sam. And if a fire sparks today, it has the potential to spread very quickly. And that's what happened here on Wednesday. Behind me, I know it's really dark. You can't really see much, but this is where that grass fire happened on Wednesday. It sparked near a school and then spread into a nearby open space and into a residential area. The area where we are is just off of 84th and Thornton. And this fire backed right up to businesses along this stretch of road. So 5 firefighters were hurt trying to knock this fire down. All of them are now back home. In total, about 100 to 150 firefighters from multiple agencies responded to this fire that burned 10 acres. It sparked around 11:30 in the morning on Wednesday near 84th Avenue and Huron Street. Strong wind and dry conditions have made battling fires especially challenging this season. North Metro Fire Rescue Battalion Chief John Cook reminds people to stay extra vigilant, warning that even small sparks can quickly turn dangerous.
But even some of the small things like digging a hole in like a field or something of that nature, a shovel can hit a rock and create a spark. We ask people to keep combustibles at least 5 feet away from their house, whether that be wood piles or just decorative things, bushes, those kind of things.
And we still don't know the cause of this fire, and Cook tells people, again, to stay extra vigilant, keep those combustibles away from your home. In just an hour at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from a business owner who's assessing their losses after this fire. Live in Thornton, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, thank you, Courtney. We're staying in Thornton for this next story. It's been 1 year since a couple was killed in their Thornton home, and their family continues to push for answers. Chad and Kendra Anderson were found dead inside their home on Columbine Street. Thornton police say they were both shot, and their home was intentionally set on fire in an apparent attempt to hide the crime. The couple's 2 dogs also died in that fire. The family did share a statement that reads in part, quote, "We honor them by loving fiercely, by holding our families close, by living our faith boldly, and by choosing joy whenever we can. Kendra and Chad will always be missed. They will always be loved, and they will never be forgotten." Metro Denver Crime Stoppers is offering a $12,000 reward for any information on this case.
A man will soon be sentenced for his involvement in an organized burglary ring that targeted primarily Asian business owners around the Denver metro area. A jury in Arapahoe County just convicted 45-year-old Freddie Giovanni Castro Garzon on a number of felonies. Investigators say he's part of a much larger burglary ring. The group set up surveillance at businesses, followed the owner's home, then targeted those houses, stealing cash, expensive jewelry, and designer items. According to prosecutors, it started in late 2023 and continued into early 2025. Garzon will be sentenced later this year. He faces up to 72 years in prison. There are several cases against other suspects that are pending.
The University of Denver will close the Ricks Center for Gifted Children at the end of next school year. This is the end of a program that's been around for more than 40 years. University leaders said the decision was based on, quote, long-term operational and financial considerations. Enrollment, we know, has declined there in recent years from more than 200 students 2 years ago to just 142 students this school year. Alumni and families say options are already limited for gifted learners here in Colorado.
A place like that closing tells me that we're not necessarily prioritizing the children necessarily anymore.
The university says the school will operate for one final year while it works to support students, families, and staff through the transition.
Weld County will follow Denver's lead in block production of new data centers. Advocates are worried that the centers will use too much water, create pollution, and drive up energy bills. Weld County commissioners are in the middle of drafting new rules for where data centers can be built. And right now, their proposal would allow data centers in industrial zones and sometimes in areas zoned for agriculture. The new zoning codes are necessary for the development of a large global AI data center planned for a 500-acre plot in unincorporated Weld County. But commissioners announced yesterday that they are pushing back a final vote on the rules until April following concerns from residents. The commissioners say that they want to be thoughtful and transparent about the new regulations, but it's unlikely that they ban data center development altogether.
Lakewood has established the first phase of a program that would track energy usage for the largest buildings in the city. It's all in an effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. According to our partners at the Denver Business Journal, City Council approved the first phase of this program just last week. It will establish the initial energy benchmarking program. It will require owners of hundreds of properties to annually track and report the energy use of their buildings. Buildings subject to the program include public, commercial, and multifamily buildings that share water, heating, and cooling systems. The city anticipates $4.5 million in savings on utilities each year and a 2% reduction of greenhouse gas emissions.
Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert seems to be defending her decision to share photos of Hillary Clinton taken during a closed-door congressional deposition about the Epstein files. The Republican broke committee rules when she sent them to a far-right podcaster. In prepared comments shared with the press, Hillary Clinton denied having any knowledge of the criminal activities of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Clinton had previously criticized the deposition as a partisan play by Republicans on the House Oversight Committee and originally demanded to testify at a public hearing instead. The Republican chair refused, but photos from inside the committee still got out when Boebert sent them to far-right influencer Benny Johnson. Reporters questioned Boebert after the hearing.
What stood out to you, Congresswoman, from the deposition so far?
Well, I really admired her blue suit, so I wanted to capture that for everyone.
Boebert says she has not been reprimanded for taking the photos. Former President Bill Clinton is set to testify before the committee later today.
15 state fiscal officers, including Colorado's Democratic treasurer, signed a joint letter to President Trump. In that letter, they call for congressional approval for future tariffs and a system to give refunds to Americans. This all comes after the Supreme Court dealt a major blow to President Trump's tariff agenda, ruling that his sweeping tariffs were illegal. The president has since enacted 15% global tariffs through executive order. Democratic State Treasurer Dave Young says if the tariffs continue, it will cost the state between $450 to $800 million. That's something he says the state of Colorado cannot afford while we're already dealing with a budget shortfall.
There are few places left to cut in our budget. If this administration continues to go down this path, we will have to drastically scale back funding for our public schools, health care, and other essential services.
The open letter also calls for a, quote, clear and timely mechanism to reimburse U.S. taxpayers and businesses. Several states and corporations like FedEx have sued the administration to get money back. Where those refunds stand, though, is still up in the air.
The Trump administration has ended protections for a rare dancing prairie bird found in Colorado. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service formalized a recent court ruling to remove the bird from the Endangered Species Act protections. The administration agreed with arguments by 3 states and the beef and petroleum industries that the species was listed improperly. The protections required the energy industry and ranchers to take steps to avoid disrupting the bird's habitats. Agriculture development has shrunk their population to about 30,000 across several states. The birds are often found in Colorado's eastern plains.